Misco is a Asian fusion restaurant in the very heart of Paris, a very prestigious part of Paris. It's right next door to Louis Vuitton. It's a place where art, food, music, culture, good times all mixed together. Yeah, one of the most important things about, the most interesting things about the Misco project is the way that we were briefed. The idea is that Misco is set somewhere in the future, the near future, 30, 50 years in the future. You're in a street somewhere in Asia, you're not sure whereabouts, not which country, it's slightly fused, there's steam, there's cooking, there's shouting. It's like Blade Runner, but everybody's happy. So that's how we started. The name of the restaurant was already was a given. Our task was to identify and personify who Misco was. And through all the different things that we did, we revealed different parts of her nature. We wanted the whole thing really not to be designed, but more a kind of curation and a discovery of the culture. So we looked to Japan. We tried to find out who was the grand master of Japanese tattoo art, or irazume, as they call it, and we found out it was this guy, Shige, and this is him. And one of the most famous tattoos he's ever done was this one. It's a woman called Yoko Uni, who was the first person known to have a full bodysuit applied. So it wasn't possible to get this guy to do it. We tried, but what we did find is there was a major exhibition of Japanese tattoo artwork in London at the time, and we contacted the guy who was curating it. He had been trained by a grandmaster in Japan, the first Western guy to do it. He was halfway through his training, 10 years in. He said, I'm halfway. He's a German guy. And he created the tattoo for us, specifically from the ground up. We started off by, as it is briefed in, with a conversation about hopes and desires for it, the sort of the forms that might be in there. But after that, you leave it, even when you're doing it on your own body, you have the conversation, and they will then create something for you, and you have to trust in their skill. The real decision was how much of her identity, of her actual face, to show. And we ended up in the end not showing her face at all, so that you focused on the symbolism of the work. The decision was to keep her completely anonymous in the tattoo pictures, and to use sections of the body to go on different things, and then through other objects you would find out other layers of her personality, of who she was, without ever really finding out who she was. I'll start off with this small passport style book, which has photographs of this small Asian girl eating strawberries, ice cream, cake, with this look of glee on her face. And the idea with this is that this is Misco as a child before the tattoo. So that's the dessert menu. So the second of the books is a cocktail menu, whereby we illustrate each cocktail has the name of one of her friends or influences in her life. Yeah, basically it's a dynamic logo. It moves. We have signage outside in the street which it moves. It's only some of the time you can see it as a formed logo. which we quite like the idea of that sort of slightly impenetrable language, cultural barrier that you can have as a Western person going into Asia. That the signage, for example, it looks like a little piece of a Tokyo side street, with 3-4 different signs stuck together, a mass of wires hanging down, and this strange flashing little sign at the bottom. No real reason to it other than to catch the eye and make you question what it might be, but perhaps not fully understand it. We spent all of the budget on the tattoo artist, unfortunately, so we ended up having to try and be quite economical with the rest of it. The dessert menu I showed before was done with a borrowed child, just in my house, walking around with a student photographer. I think the budget was £200 for that book, as opposed to, I think, nearly £20,000 for the tattoo. The large full body tattoo was actually legal in Japan before 1920 something, and very, very much is the sign of Japanese mafia, which is one of the reasons why a woman having a bodysuit is very unusual. In Paris, in the very centre of Paris, off Georges V, it's really just an extreme celebration of body art. Well, the brand is franchising and will be opening in New York potentially next year. We're in discussion about whether we create another character or whether we continue with this character. It's still in discussion.